Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something that might sound a bit dry at first.
Yeah.
A new function in Microsoft Excel
Cool.
called ROWNUMBER.
Right.
But trust me, this one's a hidden gem for anyone who works with data.
Absolutely.
And by the end of this, you'll be seeing rankings and patterns everywhere you look.
It's true.
So,
This function
yeah.
is more than meets the eye.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, can you give us the big picture? What exactly is ROWNUMBER and why should we be excited about it?
So imagine you've got a giant spreadsheet of customer data.
Okay.
You want to know who your top 10 lenders are,
Uh-huh.
but you also want to see those top 10 within each city.
Oh, interesting.
That's where ROWNUMBER comes in.
Okay.
Lets you rank things within specific groups, adding a whole new level of insight to your analysis.
So instead of just a single ranks list, I can create mini rankings within my data.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. But I'm guessing there's some complexity behind the scenes.
That's true.
How does ROWNUMBER actually work its magic?
Well, it all starts with understanding a few key ideas.
Okay.
First, you've got your data set, which is like the raw material you're working with.
Got it.
ROWNUMBER needs to know where to look.
Okay.
So you define a scope of your data using what's called a relation.
So relation is like telling ROWNUMBER which spreadsheet or table to focus on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you need to tell it how to rank things.
Okay.
That's where the order by parameter comes in.
Gotcha.
You choose a column from your data, like sales amount
Okay.
or customer loyalty score.
All right.
And ROWNUMBER uses that to sort things from highest to lowest or vice versa.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right.
So if I'm ranking customers by their purchase frequency,
Yep.
order by would be the column that tracks how often each customer makes a purchase.
You got it.
Okay, cool.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
You can actually add another layer of organization using what's called partition by.
Right?
Think of this like sorting your laundry into separate baskets before you fold it.
Okay.
You're creating groups within your data.
So if I'm analyzing website traffic,
Yeah.
could I use partition by to see how page rankings differ between new and returning visitors?
Exactly.
That way I could understand if those groups are engaging with my content differently.
Precisely. You're creating separate rankings for each type of visitor,
Wow.
giving you a much more nuanced understanding of their behavior.
Okay.
And this is just scratching the surface.
Oh, wow.
There's also a blanks parameter that tells ROWNUMBER how to handle missing data.
Oh, okay.
You don't want those empty cells messing up your rankings.
That makes sense. So we've got the relation to define our data set,
Right.
order by to tell it how to rank,
Yeah.
and partition by to create subgroups within our data.
Uh-huh.
And we can even control how blanks are handled. It
Exactly.
sounds pretty straightforward,
Sure.
but I'm also sensing there's more to uncover here.
You're absolutely right. We've just covered the basic building blocks.
Okay.
There are also a couple of optional parameters. Match by and reset.
Okay.
That give you even finer control over how ROWNUMBER operates.
Ooh, optional parameters. Always a sign that things are about to get more interesting.
Right.
What do those do?
Well, match by lets you get really specific about how data is matched and how the current row is identified, adding another layer of precision to your analysis.
Okay.
But reset is where things get really powerful, especially when we start talking about data visualizations.
Oh.
It lets you create dynamic rankings that adjust as you explore different levels of detail in your data.
So if I'm looking at a chart that shows sales by region,
Yeah,
I could use reset to create mini rankings within each region.
exactly.
That way I could see the top performing products in each area, not just overall.
It's like having a magnifying glass that lets you zoom in and see the ranking shift as you explore different parts of your data.
Wow, that's incredibly powerful. I'm starting to see how ROWNUMBER can unlock insights that wouldn't be visible otherwise.
Right.
But before we jump into visualizations, I want to make sure I fully understand how the basic ranking process works.
Okay.
It seems like ROWNUMBER needs to be pretty smart to figure out where each row fits in the ranking.
It's true. The logic behind identifying the current row is fascinating.
Yeah.
ROWNUMBER needs to understand its context within the data to assign the correct rank.
Okay.
It uses the order by and partition by parameters to determine its position.
So if I have a tie in my data,
Uh-huh.
won't that mess up the rankings?
That's a great question.
Like if two customers have made the exact same number of purchases, how does ROWNUMBER decide who gets the higher rank?
So if the function can't uniquely identify each row based on the initial criteria, It will search for additional columns to make each row unique.
Oh, wow.
It's designed to be precise.
Okay.
And it won't assign ranks if it can't be absolutely sure it's doing so correctly.
Gotcha.
If it still can't find enough unique identifiers,
Yeah.
it will actually throw an error.
Okay, so it's not just blindly assigning ranks, it's carefully considering all the factors to ensure accuracy.
Exactly.
That's reassuring. But what if there are multiple rows that are truly identical? Like, what if two customers really did make the same number of purchases?
In that case, row number might assign them the same rank.
Oh, okay.
It's important to be aware of this and consider whether those ties need further investigation or if they can be treated as equivalent for your analysis.
So it's a tool that requires a bit of critical thinking. We need to understand the nuances of our data and how row number is interpreting it.
Right.
It's not just a magic bullet. It's a powerful tool that needs to be used thoughtfully.
Exactly. It's like any tool, its effectiveness depends on the skill of the user.
Right.
But with a little understanding,
Yeah.
row number can be incredibly insightful.
This is all starting to make a lot of sense. We've got the core mechanics of row number down, how it defines the data, how it sorts and ranks, and even how it handles ties and missing data.
All right.
I'm ready to see this function in action.
Perfect. In the next part, we'll explore some real-world scenarios and see how row number can be used to solve practical problems.
Okay.
From analyzing customer behavior to optimizing inventory levels.
I can't wait to see you soon for part 2.
Sounds good. Welcome back to the deep dive.
All right, so I'm ready to see row number in action.
All right.
In part 1, we covered the mechanics,
Uh-huh.
how it defines the data, how it sorts and ranks,
Right.
even how it handles those tricky ties and missing data.
Yep.
But I'm all about practical applications.
Let's get practical then.
Okay.
Imagine you're running an e-commerce store.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be great to know which of your products are consistently at the top?
Yeah.
Not just overall,
Right.
but maybe within each category?
Absolutely. That kind of insight would be gold for marketing and inventory decisions.
That's where row number shines.
Okay.
Think of each product category as a partition.
Okay.
Remember those laundry baskets?
Uh-huh.
Within each one, row number can rank products by, say, their sales figures. Suddenly you have a dynamic leaderboard
Okay.
showing you the top performers within each category.
Okay. I'm seeing how that granular level of detail could be really powerful.
Right.
No more just looking at the overall best sellers.
Right.
I can actually see what's resonating within specific niches.
Exactly. And you can take that a step further.
Okay.
What if you wanted to identify your most loyal customers? Those who consistently place orders.
Ooh, that's valuable information.
Yeah.
We could send them targeted offers or even early access to new products.
You're thinking like a marketing pro. Row number can rank customers based on their order frequency within a specific time period.
Okay.
The higher the rank, the more loyal they are.
So I could even segment my customers based on these row number rankings,
Uh-huh.
creating tiers like gold, silver, bronze, based on their loyalty.
Exactly.
We're talking serious personalization here.
Precisely. It's all about using those rankings to drive action and strategy.
Okay.
Let's shift gears for a moment. Imagine you're responsible for managing inventory levels.
Okay.
Too much stock ties up capital. Too little leads to missed sales.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a delicate balancing act.
It is.
I'm guessing row number can help us find that sweet spot.
You bet.
Okay.
Think about ranking your products based on sales velocity.
Okay.
How quickly they're flying off the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Those with higher row number rankings, you top sellers,
Yeah.
might need more stock to meet demand.
Okay.
The lower ranked ones.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to rethink pricing or promotions.
This is starting to feel like a superpower for data-driven decisions.
It is.
We're not just seeing the data, we're seeing the story. It's telling us thanks to these rankings.
Exactly. And it's not limited to just sales and inventory.
Okay.
Let's say you're analyzing website traffic.
Okay.
Which pages are drawing the most visitors? Where are people dropping off?
Those are key questions for anyone with a website. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Row number seems to be about uncovering what's most important within specific segments of data.
You're absolutely right. It's all about understanding those nuances.
Okay.
With website data, you could use row number to rank pages by visits,
Yeah.
identifying your top performers.
Okay.
But you could also use it to analyze user paths,
Okay.
the sequence of pages people visit.
Oh.
Maybe you discover a common drop-off point suggesting a problem with that page's content or navigation.
So row number is like a detective helping us see the clues hidden within our data. I'm already thinking of ways to apply this to my own work.
That's the beauty of it. And we've only scratched the surface.
Wow.
I remember in part 1, we talked about the reset parameter.
Vaguely. It had something to do with visualizations, right?
Ugh.
No, honestly, that part still feels a little fuzzy to me.
Don't worry, it's a bit of a mind bender at first.
Yeah.
Let me take in a picture for you.
Okay.
Imagine you're looking at a chart that shows sales by region.
Okay.
With Reset, you can create mini rankings within each region on the chart.
Hold on. So it's like having multiple layers of rankings happening at once. A regional ranking and then individual rankings within each region.
You got it.
Oh, wow.
As you explore different parts of your visualization,
Yeah.
the rankings dynamically adjust.
Wow.
So maybe your overall top-selling product is different from the top seller in a particular region.
Right.
And row number lets you see both.
Okay. My brain is doing a little dance right now trying to picture that.
Uh-huh.
But it sounds incredibly powerful for getting that deeper level of understanding.
It is. Reset adds a whole new dimension to data visualization,
Okay.
making it truly interactive.
That's really cool.
And there's more. So far, we've mainly talked about ranking things based on a single factor,
Yeah.
like sales figures or visits.
Right?
But what if we need to consider multiple criteria?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Life is rarely that simple, is it?
Oop.
Let's say I'm ranking my sales team.
Okay.
I care about their total sales, but I also care about customer satisfaction ratings.
Excellent example.
Yeah.
Row number can handle that complexity.
Oh, okay.
The order by parameter can actually include multiple columns.
Oh, interesting.
You can even assign weights to those criteria,
Wow.
emphasizing one over the other.
So if customer satisfaction is super important to my business,
Yes.
I could give those ratings a higher weight in the ranking than just raw sales figures.
Exactly.
That's pretty sophisticated.
It is. You're creating a more nuanced and holistic view of performance.
Right.
And this concept applies beyond just sales teams.
Huh?
Imagine evaluating investment opportunities based on both risk and potential return.
All right.
Or ranking job applicants based on their skills and experience.
I'm starting to see how flexible this function really is.
It is.
It's like we've unlocked a secret code to data analysis.
Yeah.
But with all this power comes responsibility, right?
Absolutely. Working with multiple criteria does add complexity.
Yeah.
It's crucial to have a deep understanding of your data
Okay.
to ensure it's clean and consistent. And remember, row number primarily works within a single table.
Okay.
If your data is spread across multiple tables, you might need to consolidate it
Okay.
or use other DAX functions to prepare it for ranking.
Okay. So it's not a magic bullet,
Right.
but a tool that requires careful thought and planning to use effectively.
Precisely. But when used wisely,
Yeah,
row number can be a game changer for data analysis.
I agree.
We've explored how it can be used in customer segmentation, inventory management, website optimization,
Right.
and even more complex ranking scenarios.
My mind is buzzing with possibilities, but I have a feeling we haven't reached the end of this deep dive just yet.
We haven't.
Is there more to uncover?
You bet there is.
Okay.
In the final part, we'll take row number to the next level.
Oh, wow.
By combining it with other powerful DAX functions,
Okay.
get ready to unlock even deeper insights.
Can't wait to see what you have in store. See you soon for part 3. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered so much ground already with row number.
Yeah, we have from the basic mechanics to some pretty clever applications.
Absolutely.
But I have a feeling you've saved the best for last.
Well, get ready to level up your data analysis skills.
Oh, wow.
Because we're about to unlock the true potential of row number
Okay.
by combining it with other DAX functions.
Okay, my data brain is warmed up and ready to go. It's like we've learned the basic moves,
Yeah.
and now it's time for some advanced combos.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Row number is powerful on its own.
Okay.
But when you pair it with other DAX functions,
Uh-huh.
it's like assembling a team of superheroes.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So who are the key players on this superhero team?
Well, one of the most dynamic duos is row number and calculate.
Okay.
Calculate is like the master of context,
Okay.
letting you control which data points are included in your calculations.
Gotcha.
When you combine it with row number,
Uh-huh.
you can create incredibly dynamic rankings.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Could you give me an example of how that would work in the real world? So imagine you're building a dashboard for sales analysis.
Okay.
You have a slicer that lets users filter the data by region.
Right.
By using Calculate with row number, you can create rankings that automatically adjust based on the selected region.
So if I choose to view data for the West Coast,
Yeah.
The rankings will instantly update to show me the top performers just within that region.
Precisely.
That's pretty slick.
It is. It creates a much more interactive and insightful experience for your users.
Okay.
They're not just seeing static rankings. They're seeing how those rankings shift and change based on their selections.
I'm already thinking of ways to apply this to my own dashboards. It's like giving your users the power to explore the data in a more personalized way.
Exactly. Now let's introduce another member of our DAX superhero team, Filter.
Okay.
This function does exactly what it sounds like.
Gotcha.
Lets you filter a table to focus on specific data points.
Okay, so if I only wanted to analyze data for customers who have made at least 3 purchases, I could use Filter to isolate that segment of my customer data.
You got it. And now imagine combining that filter data with row number.
Okay.
You could create a ranking of just those loyal customers, perhaps based on their average order value.
So I'm not just seeing my most loyal customers, I'm seeing them ranked by how much they spend on average.
Exactly.
That's a goldmine of information for targeted marketing campaigns.
It is. You're starting to see how these DAX functions can work together to create laser-focused analysis.
Yeah.
And we're not done yet. Let's bring in TOPN,
All right.
a function that lets you quickly grab the top N rows from a table based on a specific measure.
So if I wanted to see my top 10 best-selling products, TOPN could do that for me.
Exactly. But here's the kicker.
Okay.
When you combine TOPN with row number, you can create much more sophisticated top-N lists.
Okay.
For example, you could use row number to rank all your products based on sales,
Okay.
and then use TOPN to grab the top 5 best-selling products within each product category.
Wow. So I'm seeing the top performers, not just overall, but also within each segment of my data.
Right.
It's like having multiple top 10 lists all working together.
Precisely. And the possibilities don't stop there. You can get really creative and combine these functions in all sorts of ways to answer specific business questions.
This is so exciting. I'm starting to feel like a data analysis wizard conjuring up insights with these DAX spells.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
The key is to experiment, to think creatively,
Right.
and to let your curiosity guide you.
I'm definitely feeling inspired. But before we get too carried away with these DAX superpowers, can you bring us back down to earth with some real-world examples of how row number is being used to solve business challenges?
Absolutely. One of my favorite examples involves a retail company that wanted to optimize their store layouts.
Okay.
They used row number to analyze customer traffic patterns,
Okay.
ranking product categories based on their popularity and their proximity to store entrances.
So they were using data to figure out which products were drawing the most foot traffic and where those products should be placed within the store to maximize sales.
Precisely.
That's brilliant.
It is. By understanding these patterns, they were able to create a more intuitive shopping experience for their customers, leading to increased sales and customer satisfaction.
That's a great example of using data to make smarter business decisions. Do you have any other real-world examples that showcase the power of row number?
Another fascinating case involves a financial institution that wanted to better manage risk in their loan portfolio.
Okay.
They used row number to rank loan applicants based on factors like credit score and debt-to-income ratio.
So they were using row number to assess the risk level of each applicant, allowing them to prioritize loans to those with lower risk profiles.
Exactly. It helped them make more informed lending decisions, potentially reducing the likelihood of defaults and strengthening their overall financial stability.
These examples are so inspiring. It's amazing to see how row number is being used to tackle real-world problems across different industries.
It truly is. And we've only scratched the surface of what's possible. With a little creativity and the right combination of DAX functions, row number can become an invaluable tool for anyone who works with data.
This deep dive has been incredible. We've explored the mechanics of row number, its practical applications, and even how to supercharge it with other DAX functions. I feel like I've leveled up my data analysis skills significantly.
I'm glad to hear that.
So listeners, go forth and explore your data. Don't be afraid to experiment with row number and see what hidden patterns and trends you can uncover. Until next time, keep those data brains buzzing.